Hey guys, Dr. Houlihan here. Today I'm going to give you my top 5 favorite barefoot shoes of all time. Coming in at number 5 is the Altra Escalante. If we think about the properties that make a shoe a barefoot shoe, we're looking for wide, thin, flat, and flexible. Now the Altra Escalante doesn't hit all of those, but it is wide and it's flat. It's got the zero drop and it's got the anatomically shaped toe box. Those two factors alone can be a game changer for people who are transitioning to barefoot shoes. For that reason, I usually recommend these as one of my transition options for people who are just trying to dip their toes into barefoot shoes, no pun intended. So the Escalante does still have some cushioning underneath, which for me, if I'm walking around a new city or something and I'm going way further than I would normally walk, it might benefit me to have a little bit of cushioning underneath me. Similarly, for people who work on their feet day in and day out who just require a little bit of cushion, the Escalante is a good option. Coming in at number 2 is the Lems Mariner. So the Mariner is classy, it's durable, it's stylish, it's versatile. It's got the wide anatomically shaped toe box, it's got the zero drop, it's flexible but it's not flimsy, so it's got a little bit more hold. I found that in dress shoe situations, you want your shoe to be a little bit firmer and not flimsy. The flimsiness sort of takes away from the upscale look of the shoe. As you can see, the shoes have been thoroughly loved. I've been through everything in these shoes over the last 4 to 5 years, and they're still in great shape. I honestly don't know why Lems discontinued making this shoe, because this is one of their best shoes and definitely one of my favorites that Lems has ever made. Coming in at number 3 is the Lems Boulder boot. You might be thinking that this shoe looks pretty crusty and gross, and you're probably right. This was one of the first barefoot shoes I ever had over 5 years ago now. These things have been through it and they're still with me, they're still holding up. They're probably on their last legs here, but this shoe has been so reliable for me over the years. I think this is the perfect transition barefoot boot. It is still flexible but not flimsy. It's thin, it's zero drop, it's water resistant. They've got the flannel lining on the inside so they're super warm. And believe it or not, these things look really nice when I first got them. I would even dress them up with a pair of jeans and a button down if I was going somewhere nice. But that was in this shoe's past life. They've seen better days. Nonetheless, I could take this shoe with me on a hike today and it would still do great. Lems Boulder boot, one of the most reliable of all time. Number 2 is a tie between the Feelgrounds Droptop and the Oats Espadrille. I'm a huge fan of slip-on shoes, and before I transitioned to barefoot, the Van slip-ons and the Toms were some of my favorite shoes to wear. If you look at these shoes side by side, I'll try to hold them up on the screen. I don't know how much we'll be able to see if I can do a side-by-side comparison with the slip-on Vans and the Toms, but these are pretty much an exact replica of those shoes, but more friendly for your feet. The Droptop is everything you want out of your barefoot shoes. They are wide in the toe box, they are very thin, they are flat with a zero drop, and they are flexible. This is one of the more minimal shoes on the market. I got the mesh. I know there's a couple different textiles they use, but for me, I like the mesh. It's pretty breathable, and the style is a little bit more athletic looking. The Oats Espadrille, also wide, thin, flat, flexible. 2 downfalls with this: they come with a pretty thick cork insole. You obviously don't have to keep that. I took it out and just switched it with a much thinner insole, so that gives them that flexibility that I like to have. And the other thing, this is my second pair of Espadrilles. If you look at the reviews on my page, you'll see that the first pair was army green. This one's a little bit more faded, grayish, khaki-ish color. They're not super durable. That's the unfortunate part. My splay is such that I sort of poked a hole in the toe of the other pair of Oats Espadrilles. That being said, you can get these for like $40 brand new on eBay, so it's not that bad to replace a pair. Speaking of which, this company is no longer in business, so if you do want to have some on hand, go on eBay, find your size, get like 3 or 4 of them, it'll last you for a while. Coming in at number 1, the top spot is also a tie. So we've got the Tolos 1.0 Archetype and the Vivobarefoot Primus Lite 2. You'll notice that I don't have my Vivobarefoot Primus Lite 2, and that is because I wore them so heavily that they got destroyed and dirty and ripped, and they just looked a mess, so I had to recycle them. That being said, all the reasons that I love the Vivobarefoot Primus Lite 2 are also applicable to the Tolos Archetype 1.0. The white-on-white athletic shoe is a must in any barefoot collection, at least in my opinion. These ones even have the nice gold accents on the shoe as well, and I love the way that looks. The shoes are wide, the shoes are thin, the shoes are flat, the shoes are flexible. They're everything you want out of your barefoot shoe. Each shoe has a distinct advantage over the other. For the Tolos, I like the fact that there's a little bit higher volume. It's got this tongue tab as well, so it comes up the front of your ankle rather than the tongue on the Vivo, which sort of cuts into the front of your ankle. It's a little bit more versatile style-wise too for those reasons. However, the only drawback that I find with these is that the taper around the pinky toe is a little bit much. The Vivobarefoots, on the other hand, those were definitely wide enough in the toe box to do my correct toes and splay at the same time comfortably, but style-wise they were a little bit less versatile than the Tolos. Alright guys, that's my top 5 all-time barefoot shoes. If you have any questions or comments, drop them down in the thread below. I'd love to hear from you guys, and be on the lookout, I'll have more coming soon.